We are going to review the NJ Property Buyer Guide and your roadmap and GPS to success in purchasing a property in New Jersey. Let's dive into it. Cover letter, dear buyer, we're here to help you out. When we represent you, here's what you can expect. You're going to expect knowledge, professionalism, a team of commercial agents and brokers that know the information, how to underwrite, how to properly position pricing, where to see clarity on cap rates and price per square foot. We're also committed and allied partners on the team. We're working 6 days a week. You can count on us to make sure that it's had within business hours, and that's going to be between 9 and 6 p.m. Typically, we're going to guide you, educate, and communicate, so you'll see that throughout. Because of our systems and models, it's going to allow you to succeed quicker. We'll get into properties sooner, and we have great broker relationships, which means you're going to get the acceptance. Instead of a broker saying, who are you, what are you? We have a proven track record. We're going to cut through the tape quicker than most and be able to deliver you tours through properties, offers on properties, securing them sooner. Now, let's dive into it. Overview of our services. One of the big things is we give the ERG gold standard. As you can see on here, the biggest difference between us and an average agent is how we differentiate ourselves in the marketplace. And that starts with availability. It starts with service after showings, our staffing, our marketing plan, our advertising, our technology, the pricing, negotiation, continuing ed, broker networks, and then closing preferences. This is why you're hiring us, to purchase an amazing property for you. So let's dive into it. Meet the team. Our team right here, last year in City Views, we did roughly 800 million in sales and about 1,100 transactions, and we're here to help you accomplish the same. Help us grow our business. We've got a goal of selling over $1 billion in our office this year, and you can help us achieve it, just like we want to help you achieve your goal. Our team here, led by Adam in operations, Nay and Nadine with sales and leasing, etc. Elvis, Janine, Ghani, Robbie, Dorit, Jay, and Sam, all of them are going to be here for your needs. We're agent partners that specialize in different areas. So if you're meeting with one of our agents that's a specialty in, great, because that's going to help you get to the next side quicker and more efficient than with a regular agent. They're trained, they're designated, and we've got Robbie here making sure all the social media content, from getting out to what you guys need and getting our wanted buyer posters and investor posters out there, which is digital footprints to get and retract the properties over that you desire. It helps us out, and that's a value add that we're going to add to you. Buyer reviews, we encourage you, check out any of our clients, ask them, what was the level of service from Bruce, his team, and ERG? And they're going to rate you, tell you exactly how it is. We have a great reputable name in this marketplace, and we want to keep it. Our promise to you is to deliver the best service possible, and for that, our promise that we expect you to give us is at the end, 1 to 3 referrals. So when you hear us ask for those referrals, know that it's because we're doing above and beyond. And to be extraordinary, you got to be a little extra. We want to be a little extra to you so that we can get those referrals. And rest assured, when you have that recommendation to us, we take it so seriously that we're going to give the highest level of standard to make you look awesome. Now, continuing on, again, additional referrals as we go, but let's jump into what the home buying process looks like from A to Z. Now, we have a proven track record here at ERG with myself and our team, and we save you on average roughly 2.8% or $28,000. That means every sale purchase that we do, we're saving buyers $28,000 out the gate. Not only negotiating our own commission, we're making sure that you get a better deal. Because if you're paying less and building equity into your home, we negotiate an offer for $1 million and it's worth 1.1 million, $100,000, boom, to you. Imagine we do it at 4 million and it's worth 5 million, or 4.5 and it's worth 4.1. That extra is all to you, and we want to negotiate that best deal. We're committed to that. Internalized out to you. Now, what does that mean? It means we're going to get you a better deal, and ultimately, you're not going to overpay. If you're paying with a lender, you're going to have an appraisal. And if you're paying with cash, you're not going to have an appraiser. So we'll double check that. We'll show you where the market is for clarity. Because we know a confused mind says no, and we don't want that. Proven track record of properties sold by ERG, right to your right. Encourage you to check it out. Moving onward, our purchaser roadmap. This is where we're going to start from. Are you paying cash or are you not? If not, we need to get you pre-approved. You got to have a lender in place before we go out and start touring properties through, because otherwise, if you see a property that you love, we're behind the 8 ball. Chances are somebody else loves that same property. Because of that, we want to jump ahead and start loan term sheet first. qualify? How much cash do you want to outlay? What does that look like? What's the vision? What does it have? That's where we start. So once you have that letter, then one of our agent partners will go out to you, tour you through, negotiate the best deal possible. Once we have an offer made, we're going to go through, was it accepted? Was it rejected? A counter offer, ultimately leading to a signed LOI or a seller draft contract or buyer draft contract. That means that we're going to start getting documents signed. We're going to start putting a deposit down. We're going to start doing everything that we have for our due diligence in the inspection phase. Due diligence could include the property building inspection, the roof, it could be the mechanicals, it could be the floor plans, it could be the approvals, it could be the zoning contingency or resolution approvals. It depends on the transaction. We're specialized in each of these. We'll make sure that we have our checklist ready to go for you. At that point, once we made it through DD and we're going to a closing, we'll have ultimately a clear to close. That clear to close will come with the CO for the property, for your business use, etc., that we're filing hand in hand with the seller during that process. So when one of our teammates reach out, you're going to see that. Remember, this is a team method. It's not just the purchaser agent partner that you're working with. Behind the scenes, we have a transaction coordinator, we have a director of operations making sure everything gets done. So with that said, if they reach out to you at any point for some information, don't get caught off guard. Think of it as part of our process. Continuing onward, understanding the market. Is this a seller's market or is this a buyer's market? Now, currently, we're in a seller's market. We have less inventory, which means higher demand, which means higher pricing, supply and demand theory. So as you can see right here, last year in the seller's market, average discounted buyer was 1%, 1.2, 3%. Those change year over year. You can see the slides on the right-hand side here. Once we have a term sheet has started with the financier, we're ready to go. Now, why it's a must is because we got to know that you can buy the property. We got to know you have the cash accessible, you have everything in order so that our time is useful for you because we're high expert engineers of getting you the results that you seek. So we got to build the plan, make sure that it's attainable. Otherwise, why would we spend our time doing the same thing? We wouldn't. So make sure your level of commitment's there. We'll match it. Together, we succeed moving ahead. Now, what you're going to need to do, you're going to need to have these items in front of you ready to be able to share, if not accessible, or if not a conversation with a lender to get the term sheet. Now, guys, it's commercial. Remember, some of it's going to be based on your business, an SBA loan. Others, it's going to be cash, and this is irrelevant. Or it's going to be something where you actually are putting a 25% down payment down. You have to look at the DSCR, and you have to go through a more in-depth analysis with underwriting. We got you covered on it all. Moving ahead, conventional, FHA, VA, ARMS, all these different types of loans are what we have as important. Because remember, just getting an offer doesn't mean that it's acceptable, even if the price is right. We have to check all these other boxes to make sure the transaction's had. Otherwise, you're going to look at us in 30 or 60 days and say, oh my God, it's your fault. You didn't do this prior, even though we told you to. So we don't want that. So we're going to resist against it and make sure that we have everything in front of us. This way, we can say, yes, we have a high probability of succeeding here. Let's move it on. And together, we accomplish that. Moving ahead, it's a simple buyer agency agent agreement. And this allows us to tour you through with the agent partners and get you that property that you deserve. Some legal fees and title costs, these are huge. Why? Because we have associated fees that you're probably going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know about these. That's why we labeled them here on this list. Go through this and understand that you're going to have expenses associated with the closing on the property. And it's going to be looking in this fashion. So take a look at the extra closing costs that are associated outside of just the down payment purchase price. Now, these include all the fees associated with purchasing a property. You need to have these funds readily available in order and obviously do it in a timely fashion per our contract. Now, remember, actual costs could be varied by each individual, so don't take these as quotes or verbatim, take it as guidance points, okay? Moving ahead, we're gonna have to understand what your intake and your actual criteria is. So go ahead now, take a look at this property sheet and fill in the information that you seek, because what we're gonna do is fill in the rest. Together, we've got your commercial intake form, and that's gonna allow us to find the product that you desire. We'll do it in speedy repetition fashion until we have it secured. If not, we'll suggest here's everything in the marketplace, and then we'll pivot out until you're ready to expand your search or dive into new properties, let's say every month or two that come out, okay? So moving onward, we are gonna be viewing properties from the AM, noon times, and PMs. Now, we stop 8 AM to 8 PM maximum. Typically in commercial, this is where we're at, 9 AM to 5 PM, and not much on the weekends, unless specific asset. Things that exterior only, i.e. land, developments, buildings, without needing to go inside, we can tour whenever. But most properties, if you're gonna have it, it's toured between 9 and 6 p.m. Really 9 to 5. So understand that Monday through Friday that we're gonna have to schedule tours if it's in place that are gonna be consistent with having that same format. Now, big thing, did you know the average ERG agent puts a purchaser into contract between 4 and 7 properties shown? Why? We're highly effective. We do a needs analysis first to then understand what your dreams and your visions are, who the family is, what your occupation is, what your recreation, dreams, things like that for the site. We reverse engineer. That allows us to be able to effectively get your property 2 or 3 times faster than every other agent. Moving ahead, we have our KW app. If you're searching right now, stop. Click the button that says, click here for my custom KW app experience and download our app. Use us as your way, because once you click some things in the back end, our triggers into how can we help. Therefore, we're on the same page. So go ahead and download the app right now. So submitting an LOI to purchase, what we need to know. First offers in writing, we need to have the contract form. It's not legally binding. We have to outline the terms of the sale. That's going to allow me to be able to present or our agent partners to a seller or a seller's representative. So we'll do our homework. Your agent partner should have every bit of this information in hand and ready to go for making that outline of the draft LOI. Once that draft LOI is secured, information's accurate, we're going to share it out via DocuSign. Now remember, it's a team model. So if Janine's sharing it out, agent partner may not be, but it's facilitated by our transaction coordinator via DocuSign. Now again, it could go back and forth 1 or 2 times. We're not perfect, but sometimes those errors are just little adjustments in wording, etc., typos. Confirm that with us, but give us a little bit of patience and we'll get that offer right out. Now, how do you handle any new construction, for sale by owner, or anything in between on off-market properties? First thing to do, contact us. It's the first thing you should do. And if you attend any open houses or anything that's brought through with another broker, contact us first. Let us get the bearings for you. We protect you. We are the buyer rep. Then we go out to seller. It's huge, and it's biggest mistakes that most people make is, oh, I just contacted the seller or the seller's rep. They don't represent you. They represent themselves and the seller. So if you're a buyer and you automatically reach out to a seller or seller rep, you are putting yourself in harm's way immediately from the beginning, giving them information that you shouldn't. Protection from our end should be had. That's why we're doing this. That's why you need to have us negotiate these deals. It's because you don't know what you don't know. I don't know what I don't know. We know real estate. We know how to negotiate it. So put your faith in our hands. Anything, make sure you reach out to us first, or you're going to put yourself in harm's way. Now, when a seller receives your offer, they're likely to weigh the following terms. Read through this thoroughly. The purchase price, the closing date, the financing structure, what's included and excluded items, the additional provisions, the contingencies. Those are huge. So once we submit an offer, the seller can take the following actions. They can accept our offer. They can reject it with no counteroffer. They can call for a final and best, or they can reject and say, here's our counteroffer. Now, no matter what the seller's response is, our team is here to guide you through that process, because we know that the initial offer and the last offer may not be the same. And that means that we've got the seller down, the buyer up, which typically is that win-win that we see in the deals. And that's what we're seeking for you guys here. Once we have that accepted, attorney review period kicks in. Now, what is that? It's the 3 days the attorneys get to draft the contract, get it over, get some housekeeping items in essence in order. Then they share back and forth, seller attorney, buyer attorney, with our red lines to that contract of sale, ultimately leading to an execution and a deposit down, which then starts our due diligence period. Due diligence can typically run between 30, 60, and 90 days, and that's something that we have to attest to. Once we're under contract, what do we have to do? Well, here are the below items. We've got to understand, what's the inspection date? Do we need a roof inspection? Do we need an oil tank sweep? When's the deposit due? Title? What's going on with the CO? Do we need estoppels? Do we need zoning, resolution? All these items we're checking off the boxes for. We're going to make sure we communicate to you every time. Now, on your end, what does it mean to you? It means you got to get your mortgage contingency going, and you got to start satisfying that. You need to get the appraisal if it's not a cash deal. You need to get the property inspection done, if there is a property inspection. If you have a sale contingency for a purchase, you got to get your property sold and then purchase this one. It all trickles down. So everything on your end is going to be detailed by our agent partners, and it starts with these major items. What to expect? Well, we're going to make sure that we have the property inspector limited. So if we can negotiate better deals without them, we're not going to have them. Same thing with anything else. The only one that typically will go as a non-reversal of removing is the environmental. The environmental is the biggest item for a property seller. So make sure we take that serious as we have the environmental documents ready and prepared. Okay, get ready to move. We got some closing checklist items for you, and you're off and running on your closing day. You got your final walkthrough. Where does the closing happen? Typically in the buyer's attorney office, so at your attorney's office or a title company. Now, what do I bring to closing? Make sure you ask your attorney, hey, what should I have brought to closing? Typically the items right here are what we have, along with transferring utilities, getting everything started. Now, you also have some great resources. At the end of this packet, you have notes. So write down the properties that you're going and visiting and some notes on it. This way we can see which is the best for you. Ultimately leading to our referrals. Now, we've done a great job. We've gotten you into a contract to sale. We're expecting you to keep your promise too, which means share over referrals for people that deserve this level of respect and real estate servicing in the marketplace. We got you. We'll make you look amazing. This just made you resilient, knowledgeable, and ready for the property purchase that you are about to make. Arm yourself with tools and resources guided by our professionals, and you are going to have a great new property this year, and we look forward and honored to be in business by making that happen for you.